Momentum is growing to change the formula for how Maryland public schools are funded.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, this follows years of Fox 45's reporting into how millions of taxpayer dollars are spent to educate students who aren't in school.
Do you think this time will be different?
I do.
Maryland State Delegate April Rose is hoping the fourth time is a charm. During the legislative sessions in Annapolis in 2022, 2023, and 2024,
the goal of this bill is to ensure that there's an accurate count of students.
Rose introduced legislation to change how Maryland public schools are funded. Her intent was to safeguard tens of millions of taxpayer dollars from going to schools to educate students who are not in class. But all three times, the legislation failed.
It's got zero traction.
But Rose feels the upcoming 2026 legislative session may yield a different result.
People should care because it's our tax money. It's our tax money that we're paying every year to fund education.
Under current state law, public school funding is based on the number of students enrolled on one day, September 30th. That one-day count determines most of the funding a school receives the following year. Rose says in January, for a fourth time, she will introduce legislation to change Maryland's one-day enrollment count, this time to a two-day count, once in September and once in the spring. School funding would be determined by the average of the two counts. Her legislation is called the Education Funding Accuracy Act.
We need to do it in a way that's smart and fiscally responsible, and I think this is a good start.
Rose first introduced her bill in 2022, following a series of Project Baltimore reports into students who were labeled whereabouts unknown. In 2019, according to the Maryland State Department of Education, there were more than 6,100 instances of students whose whereabouts were unknown. Rose plans to reintroduce her bill again this year because Fox 45 found in 2024 that number has nearly doubled. This means, according to the state, there were almost 11,000 instances where students went missing and could not be located by the school. And most of those students were funded by taxpayers.
More calls for an investigation into how Maryland public schools are funded.
Project Baltimore, for years, has been reporting on how millions of tax dollars have gone to public schools to educate students whose whereabouts were unknown. But state education leaders have shown little interest in addressing the concerns. Until now. You have spoken to the president of the State Board of Education.
Yes. Yes. You've brought a lot of attention to this issue, and I think it's finally caught the attention of people.
Project Baltimore in September broke the news that in 2024, based on the Maryland State Department of Education funding formula, taxpayers gave an estimated $168 million to schools to educate students who could not be located. That report caught the attention of Dr. Joshua Michael, the president of the Maryland State Board of Education.
Certainly we want to learn more. It is a notable trend, and I'm really glad you're asking the question.
They are willing to talk about making some changes because they do acknowledge that there is a problem.
Opponents of counting enrollment multiple times a year, such as the teachers union, have said it overcomplicates a data snapshot that is intended to ensure adequate funding for schools. But now, with Dr. Michael's involvement, Rose feels 2026 may be the year her bill finally passes.
Isn't that insane to just keep doing the exact same thing and have the problem get worse and worse and worse? We've got to do something.
Rose also plans to add an accountability measure to her bill, where the Maryland State Department of Education would have to report back to the legislature following the second enrollment count regarding how it has impacted school funding. Project Baltimore will follow Rose's bill starting in January as it makes its way through the legislature. I'm Chris Papps, and this is Project Baltimore.
Hi, I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out Fox Baltimore on social media to find more stories like this.